Hi, I'm Dave, Chief People Officer and Founding Engineer at Vaxine. We're building low latency CRDTs for the modern internet. Like many people, I got interested in computers because my parents enabled it. My father's an electrical engineer and my mother was a teacher, and they saw it as a great opportunity to learn. Up until I was about 14, I spent all my time dealing with computers and software and hardware, and I loved it. But at some point, I stopped being interested in tech and I spent my time in the outdoors, climbing, skiing, and eventually learning to be a cook. I'd never really considered tech as a career. It just sort of happened. One day there was an opening in the computer support department and I took it up. It was part-time, but after a few years of doing that while I was doing my studies, I knew this is the thing I wanted to keep doing for the rest of my life. Computing really changed for me when I realized you could hook them together. How do you deal with saved messages, to replay them, to store them? What sort of protocols can we use to support this? And how can we make that efficient? Part of this is my interest in privacy. How can we communicate privately and securely in ways where not everyone is online at the same time? This really matters to me because half of my family is in New Zealand, and that's a long way from here. If every message, every discussion needs to be face-to-face, we'd never have much time to chat. I've always been interested in dealing with networks. The bigger, the better, the more complicated, the more interesting. I started off working for a small university in New Zealand and decided to move to Europe to find bigger and better ones. I ended up in Grenoble in France, working for Hewlett-Packard, dealing with storage, and there was lots of it. Even in the early days, my role there comprised dealing with people from different countries, different continents, from different customers as we managed their resources, most of the time transparently. I've met people from all over the world, and my experience both as a developer and a person has been shaped by those interactions. I've learned how to work with distributed teams, to motivate people whose primary interest in the project is simply that it's fun, and also to work with longer deliverables that may span years. One of the things I'm interested in is bringing the fun and excitement of an open source project and combining that with the structure and long-term support of a commercial enterprise. This requires balancing the needs of the community and prioritizing things like documentation, onboarding, and end user support tools so that people can get the most out of the project and get involved as easily and as quickly as possible. Being involved in open source has taught me many things, but first and foremost that it's about people. It's about having fun, it's about learning, and it's about contributing to something that's bigger than just you. Within the Vaxine project, we touched several other large open source communities, the existing Erlang community, widely deployed in commercial worlds, and the new Elixir community, which is making huge inroads into scalable and distributed systems as well. As a longtime user of databases and similar software as a service products, one of the things that personally matters to me is building systems that don't wake you up at night. They should be able to resolve complex problems themselves and only alert an operator if there's something truly needed. Just as we have frameworks and tools to build and design complicated software, we also have frameworks and tools that help us build robust and effective teams that celebrate the diversity of opinion and the experience and background of everybody involved. At Vaxine, I'm both a founding engineer and also chief people officer. We have several of the former, but only one of the latter. We come from many different backgrounds, from academia and commerce, from people who have built and designed some of the most challenging ideas in computer science today, and to people who have deployed those to production. A key part of my role at Vaxine is melding together commercial experience, academic prowess, and the burgeoning contributions of the open source community to build something truly unique. For me personally, one of the most exciting things about working at Vaxine is the ready access to some of the smartest minds in academia working on these complicated problems. I've been involved in some of these issues now for more than 20 years, but I've never had the chance to sit down with the theoretical practitioners and really understand these types of problems in detail. And I'm really hoping that we bring more of that expertise to you through our project.